So we head next to track number 8, and this is Kinengi, which translates to anniversary in English. This is an interesting track because, once again, according to Wikipedia, it was written to give the band a happy song, one that could commemorate certain events, like weddings, birthdays, etc. And under this context, I definitely understand the song a bit better for sure. The song starts with a little bit of starting cymbals, catchy drum and guitar team-up rhythm, until we get to Mami's cheerful guitar part that sets up the rest of the song nicely. Haruna's vocals give this song a nice little punch, and still maintains a lot of that sort of happy-go-lucky mood with her high pitch and soft and casual delivery. But yeah, this is definitely a dance song. Maybe a step under the catchiness and energy of Your Song from Hello World, but kind of accomplishes a similar goal in just making you feel joyous in the moment. Haruna and Mami's guitar licks go back and forth beautifully, with Rina providing an upbeat and rhythmic force on the drums that once again provides that essential backbone for all of these tracks on the album. People may overlook Tomomi here, but if you listen closely, she is putting down some nice little bass grooves as well, which give this happy, dancey song a little more depth for sure, especially in the parts where Rina isn't in control of the soundstage. Mami's solo on the bridge flares out nicely and takes us down a little tangent that is pretty standard for what you'd expect here. It adds to the dancey nature of this track, and with a little help from a clap track, it feels even more dancey than it would have before. But overall, this is a super enjoyable dance beat, percussion, rhythm, and oriented kind of track that you want to swing your partner around with, and it's very nicely here towards the end of the album. And as we transition to the lyrics, we get into some really gooey and gushy territory, and it's absolutely wonderful to explore and appreciate. Hey, do you remember the day we met? It was such a long time ago, but it feels like it was only yesterday. You were a little embarrassed and smiled awkwardly. You looked right at me with such kind eyes. My time with you is something I'll forever treasure. Let's keep stacking up these trifling anniversaries. What will you do for me? I'm about to melt. You whisper to me playfully, I love you today too. I mean, just wow. The sentiment, the vulnerability, the beautiful memories just flooding in once again, and even to this day they still love each other with a passion that has not ceased. These lyrics are great and coupled with the song flawlessly, meddling together the joyous rhythm and melody with imagery through the words that make you want to tear up a little bit, with the amount of sweet romance going on right here. It's just beautiful. Alright, track number 9. And this one's going to be Mabataki, which translates to blink in English. We get to the final 3 songs of the album, and in these final 3 songs we really get a feel for what the ladies of Scandal were trying to accomplish with Kiss from the Darkness. Some lightheartedness, some arena rock braggadocio, and some touching sensitivity that reminds us all of what kind of people this band is made of. According to Wikipedia, this track is supposed to capture Rina's feminine worldview, and tasked Mami to install an 80s pop vibe in it. I think there definitely is something to that, as the song comes out strong with this crash of the cymbals, with a really super straightforward drum beat that hits super hard, and along with Mami's cute little guitar lick, it gets delightfully energized as well. We get some Tomomi vocals to begin here, but they don't last long, as Haruna comes in shortly after that, before a blast of new rhythms and group vocals challenges the listener to now adjust to a bunch of new sound effects that add a really colorful texture to the song. I haven't even gotten to the music video yet, and it already feels like a multi-sensory experience. Tomomi's bass is nice here, and really adds a lot of depth to the song. And to hear her sing on top of it, it's really cool too, as she doesn't get the spotlight vocally all the time. It's kind of like if you took some of those classic city pop songs that have gained more popularity recently and sped them up a bit to create this kind of rhythm and feeling. The synthesizer sounds throughout give this song a nice ethereal quality as well, creating this airy, spacey sort of sound environment that calms you down while the rest of the instruments encourage you to move about. Mami's guitar work at the end is a joy to listen to as well, as it's cheery and joyful, and it mixes with everything else in a super satisfying way. Such a nice little rhythm. It's a real delight to send us off softly into a much harder hitting track coming next. Let's talk about the lyrics. I'll always want to see you. Even if we're separated one day, that's all I've been able to think of. Just one more blink, and my tears will fall. Just one more kiss after that, and I'll just about burst. But I love you. There's probably no correct answer. I simply love you. I want to find happiness on an unstable star. So again, with almost every song, this theme of loving someone with a relationship on the rocks continues in the lyrics, and it's really pinpointing what Scandal's members are trying to say in these words they presented. They may have been through these rocky situations themselves, or maybe have close friends that have been through similar issues, and it's important to them to use their platform to tell this story and address what's happening. I think it's cool to have that sort of lyrical cohesion throughout the entire record. Let's talk about the music video. So the music video for Mabataki has the ladies just kind of chilling in this very cute and furnished apartment, and it appears that they are sort of in some kind of malaise once again, going back to the lyrics about how their relationships are not going super great. I do love all the shots they've created here. They're beautiful with some truly awe-inspiring lighting, especially the use of the natural sunlight spilling in from the outside to make the ladies appear almost angelic. There's something super calming about seeing these ladies just sitting around not doing a whole lot. I can only hope I look that photogenic drinking tea, playing with stuffed animals, and just looking off into the distance while sitting on the floor, you know? Overall, though, this video is super charming and is such a pleasure to look at. It's like if you took the cover of the film Marie Antoinette and turned it into some type of aesthetic into a music video. That's probably what this would be. Okay, so we get to track 10. And this song is called AMDKJ, which is short for Amida Kuji, which is the Japanese lottery game that the band members sometimes play among themselves to make decisions such as which room they each would occupy when they used to live together, or which band member would perform which publicity activity. It's kind of like this little lottery game thing, but they turned it into a song. Cool. Rina describes this song as being the band's first angry song. It was written during a time when Rina had observed that the misogynistic news and media content were being carelessly downplayed by media personalities. Well, this song certainly delivers on that anger, as it starts out with a gritty guitar drive right into your frontal lobe, with a driving intensity that immediately takes your breath away. We then hear a little bit of action from the cymbals before Rina's drums kick in to add some nice oomph, pairing with Mami's guitar nicely before the song really takes off, exploding into our ear canals with a layered, multi-instrumental, cathartic release of sound. It's glorious, full of spastic energy and unbridled bravado that has a sick guitar tone echoing out valiantly into an uncertain world. By the time Mami's guitar ends, we are then greeted by a fast and rhythmic section of Haruna's more serious and focused vocal delivery, combined with Tomomi and Rina really going step for step with each other on their drum and bass combo to keep the momentum of this song going beautifully. When Mami's guitar does come back in its dancey, super rhythmic way, it matches the pace of Haruna's rapid-fire vocals with a satisfying fervor until all the layers reach a fever pitch as the vocals, guitar, drums, and bass band together to launch us into a rock heaven, with powerful guitar chords and raucous drum fills yet to be seen on this album. I love the rhythms of this song. I love the intensity of this song. I love this song. The energy is off the charts as these ladies are blasting forth the full gear. Everybody's locked in. It's a controlled anger that burns bright, with just a lovely, grungy arena rock sound that will make the ground shake beneath you. And how can you not get behind a sonic experience like that, right? The part in the middle where there's sort of a Caribbean beat break, where I think they may have said salsa, reminds me a bit of the baby metal track entitled Song 4, where Sue, Moa, and Yui take a break from the metal and begin to chant a more relaxed and chill yon 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 before zipping right back into the metal. So there may be some influence from the success that baby metal has found in changing the tempo and timbre of tracks mid-song. And I think this foray here works well too, to grab our attention before throttling us back into the rock. The energy of this track is riveting and is so infectious and thrilling, it makes for an incredible experience. And with the whoas, it makes for an even better crowd experience as well, as you could join in and sing with the band and have a really cool live moment together. This is followed by Mami's solo, which I'd argue is the best one on the album. It just dives into itself so well, keeping within the rhythm of the song, as well as venturing off to light a fire from a deep place inside the darkness. Rina's drumming here is absolutely great as well. It's fast and timed to perfection. Haruna's vocals at the end really bring it together well. The way she ends the lyrics with "skoshi dake sumetai," and then she kind of like goes down with it. And the way she really lingers on that final note feels so right from an emotional standpoint. I love how we are left with a kind of bitter taste in our mouths, like a muddy, messy, prolonged stay. The lyrics. So in the lyrics, we have more of this black and blue, sort of more stern and serious nature. Bound by restrictive lines, this overly sensitive, ominous town, a lawless place born of illusion, people turn back and look away. And later, there, even deeper, see it yourself and touch it. I'm sick of this world, where everyone acts so selfish. The truth is colorless and transparent, and just a little cold. The music feels like scorched earth, and the lyrics tear into the world as well, shedding some of the innocence of previous albums and recognizing the austere nature of much of society at large. The selfish nature of a person, as they turn back and slowly look away, these words come out as if a tough pill to swallow, as a longing for a simpler time when love could thrive unencumbered. Here's more. Come and set free those emotions trapped in your heart. You're not the only one who's scared of how unpredictable tomorrow is. Love burns freely and disappears. More love on the rocks, more of an uncertain future, and really hugging onto the moment for as long as possible. It amazes me how much Scandal have held onto this theme throughout the entire album, and it works so seamlessly, weaving through song after song, creating this giant narrative of love teetering on the brink of collapse. Let's talk about the music video. In what has to be one of their moodiest rock star vibing videos to date. The video for AMDKJ is, in a word, fearless. The ladies abandon any sort of appearance of any fun-loving free-spiritedness and go straight for the jugular with harsh black large outfits that contrast ominously against a flowy white backdrop. This all happens right before the big moment of the guitars kicking in full gear, and we see the word Scandal in big bold letters because it's here. We're here. We finally found the scandal that's real, that's true, that's them. After all the albums that they've made and all the styles they've adorned, this is who they want to be. And when the color gel lights come on in, showcasing each woman individually, the effect is multiplied, as it's the first time we've seen color, and the stoic and fearless poses the girls are rocking show that they absolutely mean business. Just that look in their eyes. Wow. This feels like more than just a music video. It's a statement to the world. Some parts of the video also have Haruna singing behind a metal wire fence, and in a funny way it reminds me of Ron Burgundy being trapped in a glass case of emotion. But in a more serious way, it seems as though this signifies the emotions trapped in her heart, as evidenced by the lyrics which we discussed earlier. I love the energy in this video, and the insane amount of chemistry these ladies have with each other on screen. It just seems like no matter what they do together, it's always mesmerizing, and that is accentuated by the dramatic camera movements when they are rocking out in the white room as well. That jittery sort of zoom in and out of the camera paired with a subtle and sometimes not so subtle autofocusing of the frame makes for a jarring effect that gives the video a dreamlike quality, immersing us deeper into the fabric of this performance art style video until we are convinced that these black-clad sirens who raise their arms wide with power and sing proudly into the ether of their own self-made Rocktopia are without a doubt giving us a super gratifying and altogether thrilling kiss from the darkness. P.S. Mommy's hat. I love that hat. Ah! Okay. And we come to the final official track off of Kiss from the Darkness. Track 11 is Suki, or Moon. And here we find ourselves at the very end of the album with a lovely ballad to send us off. And according to Rina, she says that this song was meant to describe the feeling of being able to reminisce about past memories and relationships without regret, and to be able to look forward with hope despite uncertainty of the future. That sentiment is something that I've struggled to do with a lot of times throughout my own life. And to have this final song and pretty much this whole album dive deep into that issue has been such a wildly helpful and freeing experience. I can't thank them enough for that. But yeah, let's talk about the song, right? The track starts with these calming electronic pulses that almost sound like piano keys played in reverse, and they work really well in causing an emotional response. Like, oh, this song's going to be a tearjerker, based on the slow tempo and melancholy sort of instrumentation. When Haruna's vocals and guitar come, they add to those electronic noises with another layer of softness and warmth that mixes together beautifully. Haru's vocals start really getting louder and higher pitched, and this is where we sense something really great is happening. She strums along on those steel strings with such a tender resonance, like looking deeply into the eyes of someone you could spend the rest of your life with, no matter what comes your way. As the bass and percussion waltzes in together like a triumphant waterfall, the band is suddenly, once more, stepping forward with a sonic stride that blooms sweetly like a colorful spring bouquet. It's a big, bright, joyous sound accentuated with a lovely texture of harmonies, and electronic sounds that create an almost otherworldly experience. The bridge continues that ethereal kind of quality as well, lulling us into this welcoming, tender section before the vocals come back, almost as a desperate whisper, guiding the rest of the instruments back home once more as the pin that keeps everything else from falling apart. And as the song comes to a close, as we hear Haru give out one last scandaru, we feel as though we've come back to the beginning, hearing those same reverse piano key-style electronic sounds, pulsing forth once again. But instead of just fading out, I love the way they ended this song, with Haruna and the guitar giving it one last go, and serenading us with eventually just her straightforward intonation, capping out this album, making us feel like we've just witnessed someone pouring their whole heart right out in front of us, just waiting for some kind of earnest reply. And the lyrics. For these lyrics, I just want to read the entire set of stanzas as it reads out like a poem. It's past 2 a.m, and I'm thinking of you. There's an extra pillow on the double bed by the window. I thought goodbye was always a cruel thing that's full of regrets, but the warmth you left behind is still here with me. We can't go back to the times when we laughed together, but in the faraway sky we both saw, the gentle moon is always floating. A red bookmark lays sandwiched between a thick novel. I'll skip over your place and then turn the page to the next. The story starts to advance again when you allow it to stop. I am truly glad that I met you. I'll go on living once more in a bright future without you. If I wipe away my tears and fall asleep, a new morning will be waiting for me once more. Like the moon, the invisible holes in your heart will never disappear. We'll think about each other as we're far apart, as it lights up each and every day. We can't go back to the times when we laughed together, but in the faraway sky we both saw, the gentle moon is always floating, the gentle moon is always floating. It's past 2 a.m, and I'm thinking of you. There's an extra pillow on the double bed by the window. I'm just in awe of these lyrics, in awe of this set of stanzas that so clearly and beautifully encapsulates what this album means to the 4 band members and to the listener. It's love gained and love lost. It's working through the pain of a failed romance. It's accepting that life can indeed move on without them in your arms. I felt this same pain in my own life, and to be able to find this album and really dive deep into it has been a tremendous help to what I've been going through. And I'll always be thankful for the band for that. So, the music video. There is a video for this song, and it actually is just a lyrics video that was released, but it definitely feels like more than that. It has a constant scrolling wall of squared off photos of a woman just going through her city exploring adventures. And before I even knew what the lyrics meant, I felt the melancholy and remembrance of a simpler time come strolling through, like a photo collage that you'd revisit from time to time. With the lyrics minimized and shifted all the way to the right of the frame, it's these images that are really magnified and supplied to us with a great amount of significance and meaning in a way that makes us, as the viewer, feel like we are the love that is lost, and we are reminiscing about a past partner. Having all these experiences and finding some warmth where maybe there was none anymore. There's definitely a finality to it, though. No actors, no set, no lighting, just words and images of a really amazing time gone by. And so, my final thoughts. This album is incredibly good in the way that it sticks to the subject matter and really leans into it for the entire listening experience, especially in the lyrics, which we talked about many times here. Musically, every song has a dynamic quality that is so fun to listen to and to enjoy, and nothing ever really feels like it's tacked on or done for some other reason other than the band just wanting to make really great music, stuff they would really enjoy, you know? This album also has a great balance of really energetic rock anthem kind of songs like Masterpiece, Fuzzy, Ceramic Blue, and AMDKJ, as well as the softer, slower songs like Laundry Laundry, Mabataki, and Tsuki. My favorite song is the aforementioned Masterpiece, and I plan to use that track as my entrance as a professional wrestler. So look out for that, coming soon. The music videos off this album have been amazing. It's like Lisa levels of production and art direction, and I was just blown away by the kind of creativity the band and the contributors can amass from an overall visual perspective as well. Overall, Kiss from the Darkness will always hold a warm and comforting place in my heart. Birthed right before the start of the pandemic, it's infused with so much energy and feeling, and listening to it top to bottom over and over again, I can't help but think that this is their best release to date. The four women have grown so much since I first discovered them on Hello World so many years ago, and I'm just thankful I was able to have discovered them at all, thanks to Anime Central, and grow with the band, making an album that has become a soundtrack to my life. So, arigato, domo arigato gozaimasu. Thank you so much for that. There is a bonus track for getting all the way through this video. You deserve a bonus track review, so here it is. Okay, bonus track time. There is a bonus track that I only heard recently called You Go Girl on this album, which is basically an epilogue to the story of losing love throughout the previous 11 tracks on the album. It's a pretty fun song and actually sounds better than you may expect from some song that was left off the album. It's got a catchy chorus with Haruna sounding really energized, with lots of shouty gang vocals, light dancey guitars, and an overall funkiness that almost feels like a super happy dance party after going through all that emotional heaviness from Kiss from the Darkness. It feels a little long though, at over 5 minutes long. I feel like they could have accomplished what they were trying to do here instrumentally and thematically in about 3 minutes or so. I probably would have just condensed the song down a bit, but otherwise it's a pretty enjoyable and upbeat track and finale to this incredible journey through the darkness. So, a final kiss from the darkness. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you enjoy the album. If you haven't heard it yet, listen to Kiss from the Darkness. It's quite incredible and will always stick with me to the end of time. So, there you have it. Hopefully I'll have another Japanese music video review coming soon. We'll see. We'll see how long it takes. But in the meantime, thank you for watching. And as always, follow your instincts. And peace out from the room of amazement. Sayonara. Cha-cha.